out by Green. Throws it back up top. James puts up the three. Oh, it's good! LeBron James from downtown.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of 3 Guys on Mic. I'm William, joined by the man himself,
Little man.
and we're going to be here with our Week 4 prediction videos. I understand we can do a Week 3 reaction videos. Sorry about that, guys. A lot of things happened in Week 3. A lot of things that I want to get over. But, yeah, we're going to go ahead and kick it off with this first game, the Bengals and the Jaguars. It just happened 2-3 hours ago. But before we get into this, I just want to remind you guys to like, subscribe to the video, keep on sharing our videos. Thank you guys so much. We're at 162 subscribers, I think, right now. So yeah, we're getting up there. So thank you guys. Just continue to share it with other people, and yeah. So with this game tonight, what did you see? What is a word? What is a word that you use to describe this game?
Oh man, a falafel. I don't know. Some of you guys may have heard the term, but it's falafel. Just a lot of things went wrong.
Food? It's a food. Isn't that food?
Well, I just turned it into a saying. A lot of things went wrong. A lot of things went good. I'll just say that. So Trevor Lawrence, he sparked what we all thought was coming in the first 3 weeks. I'm sorry. Played great the first half. I thought the whole Jacksonville team played great. But then Urban Meyer showed why he's a college coach. Second half game, momentum changed very quickly. Bengals won by 3. And I mean, I know the Jaguars scored once in halftime, but they really shouldn't have scored any. The Bengals really just gave them that. And it really shouldn't come down to a field goal. I thought the Bengals should have blew them out. Blew them out of the water the second half. The play calling was just horrible. And the Bengals have a guy named Joe Burrow.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that helps, right?
They're not coming last in the division. Well, it's not happening.
Yeah, I agree with you now. I changed my pick. Looking at the Steelers again, how crappy they are. Yeah, I agree with you. But a word that I use to describe this game, I use exciting. I use excited, actually. The reason why, for both teams. Now, hear me out. I think your quarterback and your head coach look good for a certain span of the game. And like, you know, they like with Jacksonville, Urban Meyer, you know, a lot of people have been saying that he's not cut out for the NFL, but I think that him and Trevor Lawrence found out a way to actually succeed, and it's to use Trevor Lawrence's legs. And if you look at it throughout the game, I think both offenses kind of flourished once they started using the running game to their advantage. Whether if it was Trevor Lawrence using his legs, or if it was Joe Mixon on the other side, you know, running the ball. So
right there's where I have a problem though.
What?
Because James Robinson rushed the ball 12 times in that first half. To the second half, only 4 times. And
yeah,
I feel like that's why I think the play calling was so terrible.
Yeah, I think they got rattled when they saw that the Bengals were coming back. And yeah, I think they went away from it. But a reason why I'd also be excited if I'm the Bengals as well is because you're obviously 3-1. But not only that you're 3-1, it's that you're down 14-0 at halftime versus a team that isn't really good record-wise, but they were hot. They were young, you know, and they were coming out of that locker room at halftime looking really good. And your team just turns it completely around. You score in 2 minutes, and then you get a 3-and-out, and then the rest is history. I think both of the young quarterbacks look phenomenal. Obviously, Joe Burrow looked better. But another thing for this Bengals offense is that your number one receiver, Jamar Chase, he really had an off game when it came to the other games. You know, like he only had I think 70 yards, but your other receiver Tyler Boyd and then the tight end, what's his name?
Uzama?
Yeah, Uzama had 2 touchdowns and then a big third down conversion to get you in a field goal range. Mm-hmm. So I think there's a lot of positives to draw from both teams. I think that Jacksonville is just missing a bunch of key players. And I think they could address that in free agency and the draft, and they're just going to continue to get better. But yeah, I just think that I think for both teams you have to be excited. And
I think they lost their guard and sadly DJ Shark, their best receiver this year.
Early on in the game, like the first drive. Yeah. So yeah, but again, exciting. I'd be really happy if I was both of these teams. Again, Jacksonville is going to get better, trust me. But yeah, go ahead.
Duval.
Okay, and we're gonna go ahead and go with our next game, and I think it's the biggest game of the weekend of Week 4.
But it's the biggest story game.
Biggest story game, yeah, with the headlines. I don't think when you actually get down to the game, it's not gonna be as good as people are talking about. But the Patriots and Buccaneers. Looking at this game, again, just like how I was saying, I think the storylines are all there. It's something that I mean, obviously the schedule comes out years before. You could kind of predict who plays who when it goes by divisions.
You don't know who's going to be on that team.
Yeah, you don't know who's going to really be on that team. But once people saw that Brady signed with the Buccaneers 2 years ago or a year and a half ago, they all knew that he was going to return to Foxborough. And the storylines, we knew they were going to be insane. And again, you look at the hype video at the end of the Sunday night game last week, and it just, you know, like it was...
Listen, listen. Yeah. I love Adele. Don't get me wrong. I love her. I do. I love the storyline. But the fact that they used that song...
I know, it was kind of funny.
It was like that. It was like that episode of SpongeBob when he's working at the chum bucket and Mr. Krabs is at...
He's at the,
you know what I'm talking about?
I know what you're talking about.
God, it was embarrassing.
I just think that this game is kind of getting overhyped when it comes to the actual game. And I think it's going to be the Buccaneers by a landslide,
I agree
if we're being honest. But I'm going to be interested to see how Bill Belichick, if he coaches the same way, if he's going to throw something new at the Buccaneers and at Tom Brady. You never know, but I feel like whoever wins this game, the storylines are going to be out of whack. Every people are just going to be saying whatever. And, you know, I feel like if, let's say Brady wins this game by a blowout. Skip Bayless on Monday is going to say exactly why all these rings were with Brady, whatever. But I have a question. What do you think is going to be the reception from the fans? Do you think they're going to give him a warm welcome, or do you think they're going to boo him?
You have to be stupid to boo this man.
I was thinking that.
If I'm being honest, you have to be a complete hater or a bandwagoner for the New England Patriots to boo this man off the field.
I completely agree.
After literally what all he's done for you.
Yeah.
That's like the Bulls booing MJ when if he came back to Chicago when he was on the Wizards.
I think he's going to get a nice welcome before the game, and maybe if they have like a tribute and everything for him. But I do think during the game they're going to just be letting him have it, because I feel like that's just in between the lines. That's what you do with a quarterback and with anyone from the opposing team. Mm-hmm. So I do think that it's going to be a mixed reception. I think people are going to support him for the majority of the game when it comes to before the game and like when they celebrate him. But yeah, I do think they're going to be booing him during the game. But yeah, I'm going to go with the Buccaneers here in the landslide. I don't think it's going to really be that good of a game. And again, Mac Jones, he did not look that good. And again, how I was saying last week, that I think Mac Jones was really consistent, right? And he was really just giving you good plays. He wasn't really making the highlight plays, but he was giving you good plays. And again, even in this game against the last game against the Saints, he wasn't. Those interceptions weren't really his fault. They were more on the receivers. Could have been better balls, but they were tipped. The receiver should have caught them. But yeah, I just don't think that Mac Jones, especially against this defense, probably the best defense he's going to face all season, I think it's going to be a blowout game.
I'll say best defensive front he'll face all season. But yeah, I think this is a game where it's getting a little too overhyped. I mean, it's Tom versus his replacement, Mac Jones, so I think he's a really smart quarterback. But I think it's another defensive game. But yes, I am going with Tampa Bay's defense to win them this game, because Tom played this type of defense in New England for what, 20 years? I mean, he's going to know the ins and outs. I think they're going to score more thoroughly, obviously, than rookie Mac Jones leading that New England offense. So I have the Bucs in the blowout.
Let's not forget, Tom Brady and the Buccaneers just came off a big loss to another big team. I feel like they're going to use this
Tom Brady doesn't lose back-to-back like that.
Yeah. Going with the next game with the team that actually beat the Buccaneers last week, the Rams and the Cardinals. Both teams are 3-0. Both teams are really good, and I think both teams right now are playing like the best teams in their division, maybe in the whole NFC.
Yes.
But I think that the Cardinals, I'm not too sold on them when it comes to competing with teams like the Rams. I still think they have a chance to win any given Sunday. But I'm talking about when it comes to like just in the long run, I'm not really sold on them right now. But you look at the Rams, and it's something that I wanted to address when after the Buccaneers game. But that game, it felt like, okay, obviously it wasn't the biggest win for them, because they had wins prior in LA in the past years, you know, going to the Super Bowl and stuff like that.
Like I know where you're going here.
But I'm saying, like, you open that stadium, you have your home crowd just, you know, fired up everywhere, and you that was pretty much your home opener. Obviously they have the opener. No, but I'm saying, like, obviously against the Bears, you know, but I'm like, this is like the first big game there in the stadium, and you blow them out like that. You look good on all. Your offense look good, your defense look good. And I feel like, honestly, like, the word I could describe it is, like, the Rams just look final. Like, they're finally here. Like, the Rams are finally here. They have a new stadium. They are LA now. I feel like when you come to LA, when you look at sports teams, you look at the Lakers, right? You look at the Dodgers. I think now you're going to have to consider the Rams in that area, because I think the Rams now are here. They're here. They're contenders, and I think the city of LA represents them well.
Yeah, so that's true.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, if I haven't said, I'm going with the Rams. But
yeah, this is a battle of the unbeatens, you know, but I think Kyler Murray has struggled against the Rams through his whole career. Every time I've seen him play, it's really something new. It's either their pass coverage is too good. He's getting pressured a lot, right? We saw that a lot last year in the loss in Arizona.
Oh.
Well, what was that? I saw you go like that.
No.
Okay. Yeah, but yeah, like you said, I don't think I'm sold on the Cardinals just yet. I think they have a phenomenal young offense. It's just I see a lot of struggles in the defense. They do have a young defense. I love Isaiah Simmons. I love Xavier Collins, who is literally tie, in my opinion, with Micah Parsons for Defensive Rookie of the Year right now. Mm-hmm. But I have the Rams winning this one.
Yeah, another reason is that the Rams just kind of don't really make mistakes like that. And when I watch the Cardinals, Kyler Murray does have a tendency to kind of push the ball downfield and make some weird interceptions that you really shouldn't be making. Also, if you look at that field goal return, I understand that's kind of like a whatever you try 60. How long was it? 68-yard field goal. But either way, it gets returned for a touchdown against a bad team like Jacksonville. Like I just think that the Rams are the more complete team. They have the better head coach, the better quarterback right now, and yeah, I'm just gonna go with the Rams. Moving on, Raiders and Chargers. I'm gonna be attending that game, and
we will be there back-to-back days.
Oh yeah, Little Man's actually going to the Cardinals.
I'll be at the Cardinals Rams, and Willie is going to this showdown.
Yeah,
this is a showdown right here. Mm-hmm. I saw Isaac Ramirez and Luis Ramirez. I saw Derek Carr's press conference today. I'm pretty sure you saw. Yeah. You saw what he said.
Yeah.
How he said the Raiders, every time they've played the Chargers, it's been a home game.
Yeah.
When they are the opposing team, it's been a home game. Now listen, the last guy to diss Justin Herbert like that, I'll believe it when I see it. We all know his name, Patty Mahomes. He lost, and that's exactly why this just fueled the fire.
Yeah.
I have the Los Angeles Chargers beating the lossless, the unbeaten Las Vegas Raiders.
Can I ask you why?
Ask me why?
Yeah.
Simply because I think this is the best wide receiver core. I think this is the best offense that the Raiders have seen this season. Division matchup. Everybody's going to be fired up. Justin Herbert for sure. Keenan Allen for sure. I know he likes a little challenge too. So I'm expecting a big game. And keep in mind, Keenan Allen and this wide receiver group have gone against Casey Hayward. And all these Raider fans talking about he's top 10 in coverage snaps and stuff like that. I think he's one, I think. This is going to be the best receiver he's faced all year.
Yeah.
And I'm expecting a big game for Keenan Allen.
Yeah, I was going to say so far, I think the Chargers are the best team that the Raiders are going to face so far. And again, I'm not trying to take anything away from their wins. I think they are still a really good team. But if you look at last week, they shouldn't have been struggling against the Dolphins like that with their starting quarterback out. And you go to overtime with them. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I'm going to go with the Chargers in this game. I think it's going to be really close. I think it could go either way. But yeah, I just feel like, I'm just a believer in Justin Herbert. If you saw him last week, he took down the Chiefs. Even though, and I think Romo said it best, that they're not the defending champs, but they just feel like the defending champs. They always feel like that. And look at the way he played, having a big touchdown at the end of the game. And that's another thing that I'm going to harp on all year. They learned how to win a close game. And I think
they did it.
And honestly,
they almost fumbled it, but they did.
Yeah, honestly, there's a lot of games on the Chargers schedule where I could see these games being really close. And I think there's going to be another really close game. And I think it's going to come down to whoever has the ball last. And again, just like how Little Man was saying, the Chargers receiving core is really underrated. And I think they're the best in the NFL right now. And Mike Williams, 6'5", however big he is, just making plays all the time. And again, Keenan Allen hasn't had the season that everyone had hoped he's had so far, but
he has. It's just been low key.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like it isn't gonna pop out like everyone thinks it is. But I do think that he's still gonna have a breakout game this year, and it could come this game. You never know. But yeah, I'm just gonna go with the Chargers. I think they're the better team right now in the season. So yeah.
Just keep moving on. Sleeping on Keenan Allen. Yeah. He's had 8+ receptions his first 3 games.
Yeah, but it's just that the touchdowns haven't been there.
Exactly.
So, yeah, but another big game that I think not a lot of people are really talking about is the Panthers and the Cowboys. I think that's going to be a really, really good game. I'm being serious. I think it's going to be a really good game. What? Okay, let me ask you a question, because you're a non-biased Cowboys fan. Do you think Cowboys are Super Bowl contenders? No? Why not?
Here's my Super Bowl contenders from the NFC. Buccaneers, Rams.
That's it.
Right?
Okay.
Packers. Easy.
Okay.
They have 3 high-powered offenses, but with the Packers, I don't see their defense being there. But I still have them at 3 simply because of their quarterback is. And I know what they're capable of.
Yeah.
Capable of. Sorry.
Yeah, with this game, honestly, with the Cowboys, I'm not hating. They obviously blew us out last week. They look really good. But I'm just saying that they went from 1 week playing the Chargers and they won on a field goal, right? Mm-hmm. And a lot of people were just saying that they look okay. But then all of a sudden, they blow out the Eagles. and they're all of a sudden in that
Changes,
that realm. Yeah, I do think that they could get there. I just don't think right now they are Super Bowl contenders. I think they can get there. I think their defense has looked amazing, and that's something that I've been saying. A lot of people are really looking when it comes to matchups, like, oh, how is this offense gonna look? But this defense is probably the most important thing, the most important reason why they're winning these games. And the offense looked how we pretty much expected it to look. But one thing that did stand out on Monday night is how Zeke looked. Zeke looked hungry. Zeke looked like how he was running the ball 2-3 years ago.
If I'm being honest, I kind of saw it coming. I mean, just every time I see him play the Eagles, it's always something different. Except for 2019, that one game. But we saw them choke that. But it's just like every other time than that, it just seems like he's always in some type of
in
rhythm.
Dallas. Every time in Dallas, he just has like those type of games. And with the Panthers, I think the Panthers are really good. I think Sam Darnold is playing phenomenal. I'm really big on him. And this offense, I think that DJ Moore and Diggs, that matchup is going to be really fun to watch. But I just think that the loss of Christian McCaffrey and having his hamstring injury, I think it's going to suck. And I think that really allows the defense to just hone in on Sam Darnold. If McCaffrey's on the field, you have to worry about his receiving, how he runs the ball. You can use him as a decoy. You can use him in so many areas on the field. And now you lose that. I think it's going to be really hard for the Panthers. And I think it's going to be really hard for them to score on a defense that has confidence and is hot right now. So I'm going with the Cowboys.
I think this is a game where I really do miss Leo Collins and DeMarcus Lawrence because I think the tackle play from the Panthers hasn't been all that good. But our right tackle, Terrence Steele, I think he had a bad Monday night. I mean, the Eagles just going after him play after play. Him and the center, just the two weakest links on that offensive line.
Yeah, it was bad.
This front from the Panthers has me worried, if I'm being honest. Everybody can rush the quarterback. They can stuff the run. Zeke and Pollard are going to have big games. But at the end of the day, I think it comes down to who has the most high-powered offense. And I think that this wide receiver core for the Cowboys can win them this game.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I have them in a
And also, let's not to mention that J.C. Horn broke his foot.
J.C. Horn also broke his foot.
Yeah, so who's going to be the one to really cover any of these receivers?
I think that trade was very underrated that they pulled off to get C.J. Henderson. I didn't think he was bad by any means. He was one person I was high on for the Cowboys to get last year. But unfortunately, he fell to Jacksonville. Now he's on the Carolina Panthers. And once J.C. Horn's coming back next year,
that's going to be really good. Well, he still has time to come back this year.
Yeah, that is true. He does
have they're going to have a really good second
J.C. Horn, Dante Jackson, C.J. Henderson, and Jeremy Chin in the safety.
Yeah.
That's pretty scary.
But yeah, we're going with the Cowboys. Next game is Browns and Vikings. I think this game, I think these are two teams that kind of...
These are confusing teams.
I think they're two teams that are going in kind of different directions. I think the Vikings are a really underrated team. I think when you look at them play, you're always looking at them and you're like, how is this team not a playoff team? But just certain things happen. But I do think that they had a really huge win against the Seahawks. I think it was a much needed win, especially with your workhorse running back out, which they were all saying that he was going to play for most of the week. And then pretty much Saturday, last second, they said he was out. So I think it's really big for them to get a win like that and for your defense to look that good against the Seahawks, who scored 17 points in the first half. And then didn't they shut him out in the second half? I think they did shut him out in the second half. And going with the Browns, having a big game, having 9.5 sacks all game. You hold the Bears offense to 47 yards, which is insane. Which I can't even really understand how you have 47 yards, but I do understand the sacks took away a lot of yards. But yeah, I'm gonna go with the Browns though. I still think that the Browns are a little more physical team. I think the Browns defense is better than the Vikings defense. And I think that this run game for the Browns is just too hard to stop. And I trust in the Browns. I trust in Baker. I trust in him making the right plays in the right times. And yeah, I just think that the Vikings offense is too hit or miss. I think, and again, we don't know the status for Dalvin Cook. So I think the Vikings offense is too hit or miss. And I'm gonna go with the Browns. I think they're the safer bet.
I have to agree. I think this is another game where the Cleveland Browns defensive line can wreck and just absolutely destroy Kirk Cousins. Well, shout out to him. He's having I know it's only 3 weeks in, but he's having a great season. He really hasn't turned the ball over, not once. And that's been a real struggle for him to start the season. But this is the best defense that the Vikings have faced. And I think with or without Dalvin Cook, I'm taking the Browns in this one. And the Browns offense, you finally have OBJ under his feet.
Yeah.
I would love to see them use the run game and run play action and get him more involved this week. I'm taking the Browns.
Yeah. Going on to a game that I'm not really intrigued in the matchup, but I just want to talk about these two teams, the Steelers and the Packers. Now, let me start off with the Steelers.
Oh man.
I did think that the Steelers were gonna look better prepared. They were gonna look. I thought Big Ben was gonna look way better than he looked so far. I do think that Week 1 was an anomaly, I guess you could say, because I do think that they won an ugly game. But I was borderline impressed with how they played. You know, winning. You make big plays on special teams. Your defensive line was getting after it. But again, T.J. Watt, he's dealing with his groin injury, and you lose to the Raiders, and you kind of get blown out in the second half. And then this game, you just don't look good at all. You look unprepared, and again, just like how. Was it Boyd? He said that the Steelers they look like they gave up.
You can see it clear as day.
Yeah, I'm just saying like this team just looks head scratching. I honestly thought they were gonna look way better than this. I understand the offensive line was gonna be a struggle for this team, but I didn't think it was gonna be that bad. And again, you struggled to run the ball last year. Same thing this year. And again, you even got a good rookie running back in Najee Harris, and you just failed to utilize him in the running game. He's doing really well in the passing game. I can tell by fantasy, but when it comes to the running game, you're just failing to use him, only having 40 rushing yards last game. So yeah, I just think it sucks for them. But with the Packers, I was having a conversation with my brother about 2 days before that game, and I was saying that honestly, like, I'm kind of done with the Packers when it comes to, when it comes to me trusting them. You know what I mean? When it comes to me, like, when they play the more physical teams, like the Rams, like the Buccaneers, and they finally shut me up. I actually did not expect them to look this well. I picked them to win the game against the 49ers, but I didn't expect them to look this well and this prepared, this physical against them. And again, this game was very losable. You had a big lead in the first half, and then the Niners came roaring back. They brought their running game. Jimmy G made some really nice plays and stuff like that. And honestly, that was a game that the Packers could have lost. But the Packers have one man under center. Aaron Rodgers, and again, how fitting is it that Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams were the two to make those two plays at the end of the game? So yeah, I'm really impressed with the Packers win.
Crazy.
Yeah, and I think that this is just another win that they could build off of. And again, just another point of Aaron Rodgers saying Week 1 was just another football game. It happens, and again, like how I was saying, it happens once a year where they have that game, they look bad. And yeah, I'm just really impressed with the Packers. They shut me up finally. But yeah, I think this is really good for the Packers and your team.
Willie hit on a lot of stuff, but I will say this: Big Ben is struggling. It's hard to watch. One of the points I talked about before the season, I said, who's going to protect Big Ben? I know they got Trey Turner. He's a 5-time Pro Bowler. He hasn't looked the same. I mean, you're rushing the ball 16 times with Najee Harris, and he's only getting 40 yards. I get he's a rookie, but I mean, that's what he's known for, explosive plays.
Yeah.
And the O-line has to give him help when he's rushing that much. And when he has 14 catches in a game as a rookie, that shows a lot about what your wide receiver is giving you.
A lot of his explosive plays are coming from passes.
That he's doing on his own.
Yeah, he's doing it all on his own. It's not really like he's relying on his offensive line.
But yeah, I'm taking the Packers. I think their offense is back in business. This is going to be a very tough game for the Steelers again if they can't get the run game going, which I think is a negative for the Packers on their side of the ball. I don't think they can stop the run that well.
Yeah.
So if it works this game, I mean, that's a big plus for the Steelers, but at the end of the day, I'm taking the Packers.
Yeah, I agree. Going with another game that I want to talk about. I don't think it's going to be a really good matchup, but I just want to talk about both teams. But I'm going to go with the Chiefs and the Eagles. Yeah, okay. Listen, I'm worried for both teams, but this is where they're different. The Eagles, I'm worried because your team, your head coach, all around just did not look good. I'm worried for the Chiefs because I'm worried that their playoff style isn't going to work in the long run how it has been. You know what I mean? I still think that they're going to be a really good team. I still think they're going to win a lot of regular season games. But the way that your team has looked and the way that you just haven't looked really focused in the past game and a half, it's honestly, it's worrying me. Again, a lot of defenses are now honing in on how to take away Tyreek Hill. And again, I do think that it works for the defense because you're going to take away the most lethal weapon on the field. But I'm just worried about it. And again, this was a game where how can you have 4 turnovers in one game against a division opponent at home? No, it was 2. No, there was 1 at the end. It was a turnover at the end.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
But I don't, what was it, 3 or 4 in the first half?
3 in the first 3 drives, I think. So, yeah, like, honestly, like, that just worries me. And again, also, I'm worried about the health of Andy Reid. I understand he's okay. I hope he's okay. There's also going to be a return to Philly. So, I mean, I hope he has a warm welcome there. But looking at this game with the Eagles, you got punched in the mouth. But you got punched everywhere when it comes to Monday night. You just looked horrible. And again, I think that this team, I'm glad that it happened this early. I'm glad that it happened when it happened against the team that you pretty much want to beat the most. I'm glad that Nick Sirianni got caught out on a lot of things. Just like how I've been saying, I think Miles Sanders needs the ball 20 times at least in a game when it comes to catches, rushes. Only rushing the ball 2 times, and I think averaging like 8 yards, 9 yards per rush. Honestly, it doesn't make any sense to me. Jalen Hurts is the one thing that I want to adjust the most, though. Again, I wasn't sold on Jalen Hurts being a franchise quarterback. I do like him. I do think he can win us some games. But in terms of being a guy for 8+ years, I'm not sold on him yet. A lot of Eagles fans were, which doesn't really make sense to me. And when you look at a lot of young quarterbacks, like the 2 young quarterbacks who played tonight, obviously the first few games they were struggling. But at least you saw the talent, you saw their arm strength, you saw the plays that they would make with their arms. With Jalen Hurts, I haven't really seen that. Again, like I've said, I think Jalen Hurts has looked like a part of the offense, but he hasn't looked like the offense. You look at Herbert when he came in, you just instantly knew in that first game against the Chiefs that his arm is insane. Once he gets everything down, he's going to be a really good quarterback. Mahomes, all these other quarterbacks who come in, you just look at their arms. Even though they're not making the right reads or anything like that, their arms are the things that are impressing you.
Wentz.
Yeah, even Wentz and Dak when they first came in. Dak was winning a lot of games, Wentz wasn't, but at least you saw the arm strength from Wentz, you saw big plays from him, and even from Dak. So yeah, this is what's worrying me about Jalen Hurts. And again, there are times where he had, like that first pick on Monday night, Jalen Reagor had a touchdown. If that ball wasn't underthrown, that's 7. There was a play against the Niners where Devontae Smith was open. If Hurts just has enough arm strength, that could have been 6. So I do think that there's just certain things that you have to address. And again, it's still only the 3rd game. Jalen Hurts could look like a completely different quarterback in 2 or 3 months from now. When it comes to week like 13, week 14, he could look like a different quarterback, making different reads and stuff like that. For your defense, your linebacker is obviously the weakest part. That's the weakest part of your defense. The linebacker has been the weakest part for 2-3 years, and it still hasn't been addressed yet. Your defensive line looks like the best thing on the team, but they can only do so much. They get tired. Exactly. They're on the field the whole game. Yeah, so, and again, the Chiefs losing 2 straight. I forgot this was a prediction video. The Chiefs losing 2 straight. I'm not going to bet against the Chiefs, especially against your defense, who hasn't really looked that good besides your defensive line. Your head coach is questionable. I'm going with the Chiefs in a landslide here. I don't think it looks good for the Eagles from here on out.
Yeah, as I said before, I still think this is a stirring the pot kind of season for the Eagles. I think this is where they find their identity moving forward. But yeah, for the Chiefs, I mean, the fact that they had 4 turnovers and still almost won that game.
Yeah.
I mean, that's more of a moral victory. I understand, but that's still big in my eyes. I think this will start off this win on Sunday. I have them winning. I'm sorry. Didn't mean to hurt your feelings.
I'm not offended by any means.
I have the Chiefs winning, and I think that they'll get into it soon. I don't think it's the end yet. I don't think it's time to worry yet.
Yeah, again, it's not time to worry, but I'm talking about in the long run. I think that Andy Reid has to find a way to get Hill some big plays,
Let's keep in mind, they also got Josh Gordon off of
let's not forget about that, yeah. So that's going to be another, you have a second option when it comes to receiver. That's going to be that's something that they've been missing for a long time.
They released video of that man doing practice today. My God, he literally looks like a tight end.
Yes.
It's gonna sound like coming weird, but he's big.
Our next game, Ravens and Broncos. Now, this is a really good game, and I think this is a game where we're really going to see what the Broncos are made out of. They are currently 3-0, and again, a lot of people are pointing out who they played and their competition. But either way, it's honestly a case of what do you want the Broncos to do? They played bad teams throughout this entire year, and they actually look good against those bad teams. It would be one thing if they're barely squeaking by against these bad teams, but they look really good. And again, even if they lose this game against the Ravens, I still think that it's still, and they still look good. I'm not going to say that it was all because they played weaker teams. What do you think about the Broncos so far this season?
Broncos, I think to me, the defense is very serious. I just think that that's the only thing that's keeping them in this game, because I do trust Teddy Bridgewater, I do, but I don't think he'll make a big play to get you there, I don't think he'll make you a big play to win the game.
Yeah.
So I think it all comes down to the defense, but My prediction for this game, I do have the Broncos winning. Because I think that defense can give some struggle to Lamar Jackson. And the way that they looked last week. Baltimore actually worried me. Marquise Brown with the drops and how open he was.
Yeah, I was about to say
this week he's not going to be open that much.
Yeah, I would agree. Again, if you have Lamar on your team as your quarterback, I think you have a chance to win almost any game. Regardless of how we think of him as a passer, I still think that he's really good and he can affect the game with his legs no matter what. When you look at both teams, I think it's going to be, the air yards, combined is going to be like 330. I'm just saying that I don't think any quarterback is going to throw for a lot of yards. I think this is going to be a really big running game with Lamar, obviously. I think that the Broncos that's kind of that's their thing, right? You run the ball with, if you're the Broncos, and you make Teddy, you make him make those plays where when you need him to make the plays, he makes it. You're not going to rely on him to make those plays for you. I'm still kind of on the fence of who's going to win this game. I'm going to go with the Ravens because I like Lamar. I trust in him to win those bigger games, and I think the Ravens are the better head coach team, and they're more established. But I do think that it could go either way, and I think the Broncos are a really good football team, regardless of who they played. But yeah, I'm going with the Ravens. So that does it for the games that we want to cover. Now it's time for our rapid fire mode. Little man, you go ahead and kick it off.
It's pretty good. All right, first game. Bills and Texans. Flat out say it.
Oh.
Just say it.
Bills putting up how many? 78 points in 2 games. Yeah.
They might put up that many points this game.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Bills, obviously. Titans versus Jets.
I'm going with the Titans. I think Derrick Henry might have like 4,000 yards this game. I don't know.
Zach Wilson hasn't looked good at all, but maybe the Titans, how bad their secondary is. He might do good, but he won't win the game.
Yeah.
Hawks and 49ers.
This is a really good game. I think the 49ers are a really physical and talented team. And again, the offensive line for the Seahawks crumbles in second halves. I don't like the Seahawks' chances. I'm going with the Niners.
One of my favorite rivalries in the NFL, but I will take the Niners because I think they can't. Seahawks still can't protect Russ, and he's going to be running for his life. Washington Football versus the Falcons.
I'm going with the Washington Football team. I think that your offense, I think they can light it up, and I think that your defense is going to get on the right track. Falcons, they haven't really shown me much, and yeah, I'm just going to go with the Washington Football team.
Call it a shocker, but I think this might be a shootout between Washington and the Falcons because the Washington Football team's defense has been overrated to start the season. Mm-hmm. Giants versus Saints.
I'm going with the Saints. Giants, I don't buy the Giants at all.
I honestly thought you were going to pick the Giants for a second.
No, I would never pick the Giants. Yeah, Saints are good. Regardless of how Jameis Winston plays this game, I still think the Saints have a really good chance to win.
Alright, do you hate the Giants because of their fans, or is it because there's another member in this group that is very high on them, and they are disappointing this season?
I hate the Giants regardless, but it's a mixture of everything.
Mixture of everything. Yeah, I have the Saints winning this game. I think Alvin Kamara is going to go off. Lions versus Bears, division matchup.
I'm going with the Lions. I think the Lions, they've impressed me the first 3 weeks. Looking at last week, you hold Lamar. Again, I do understand that there was drops in that game, but you did look really good and competitive all the way till the end. You've looked better every week. And the Bears, they just don't. I don't see anything with them.
I'm going to go ahead and take the Bears in this one. Okay. I'm being honest. I think Justin Fields has a chance to do something good this game.
I agree.
It's just all depending on if Matt Nagy fumbles the bag.
That's true.
All right. Benz and Colts.
I'm going to go with the Colts. The reason why is I think that this game you use your running game. I think you give Jonathan Taylor way more reps than you did last game. Again, he wasn't playing a lot. He didn't get a lot of touches. I think Carson Wentz's ankles are getting a little bit better, even though he struggled a lot with maneuvering in the pocket. I just don't see much from the Dolphins right now, so I'm going to go with the Colts.
Yeah, I saw a lot of those big plays being taken away from him on those 2 sprained ankles. But I'm going to go ahead and give the Colts their first win of the season. I think that they can give hell to Jacoby Brissett. I don't think he has much to work with. Some of his wide receivers are banged up. So yeah, I think this will be a good win for the Colts to get back on track. That does it right there.
Yeah. So that does it for week 4 predictions. Again, thank you guys for watching. Make sure that you like and subscribe to the video. Make sure you guys share. Anything you want to say?
That does it.